Good day everyone, and welcome to the second lesson on this playlist for the beginners to English. In this video, we shall talk about the articles in English, as this lesson is a very basic one to help you build up your English language correctly. So, without further ado, let's get started. The objectives of today's video are: what are the articles and how to use them? So generally, the articles in English are a, an, and that. Let's begin with the article a, which is used before any word that begins with a consonant or a vowel that has a consonant sound. It may sound a little bit confusing, but it's easy once we break it down. So the first part of the rule is, we use the article a before any word that begins with a consonant, just like the words a garden, a planet, or a jacket. So the letters G, P, and J are some of the consonants in English. So we use the article a with any word that begins with a consonant. If you haven't already watched my previous video that was about consonants and vowels in English, please go ahead and watch it before this one so you can fully understand everything and follow along with these. Now let's continue to the second part of the first rule about the article a, which is used before a vowel with a consonant sound. Now we know vowels in English are a, e, I, O, and U, but this rule includes O and U only, as they have a consonant sound in some cases. Let's see some examples. We have the word a university, a European, and the phrase a one-way street. Let's focus first on the word university. The letter U is a vowel, but in this word, the way we pronounce it is different, meaning that when you say the word university, it sounds like we pronounce it as if it was a Y, like university, not university. So, in this case, the U is a vowel, but has a consonant sound. Let's see some extra examples so you can understand it even more. We have the word a European, but be careful, the E here is silent, so we will check the letter right after, which is the U. Again, it has a similar case to the first example we just had. So it sounds like if we have like a Y, not U. We said European, not European. So the U is a vowel but has a consonant sound in this example. Let's see the last example, which is a letter phrase, a one-way street. As I've mentioned earlier, this exception in this rule just including the two letters U and O. So the word one in this phrase sounds like we have pronounced it with like a W by saying one and not on. So also the O here is a vowel but has a consonant sound. So the article a can be used with a vowel that has a consonant sound. It's very easy, and you can always check the sound of those vowels by pronouncing it before using the article a or even the common ones. Now let's continue to the next article, which is an. It's used before any word that begins with a vowel. As simple as that. Let's have some examples. We have the examples, an uncle, an error, and an article. Let's focus first on the first example, which is an uncle. If you haven't noticed, we pronounced the letter U here differently than the previous example, which was a university. But here, it has a different case in which we pronounce the letter U as a sound, not as y sound, by saying uncle and not yonko. And the next example is an error. And the E here doesn't have any special cases, so it is just a vowel letter. And the last example is an article. And the A here doesn't have any special cases, so it is just a vowel letter too. So generally, the article an is used before any word that begins with a vowel. Lastly, we have the article that, which has so many cases, but I've gathered the most important ones so you can always remember them. The first one, the article that can be used with the object that is unique or the objects that are unique. Secondly, the article that can be used before a noun that is being mentioned for the second time. Thirdly, the article that can be used before a noun that is known to present one particular thing. Fourthly, the article that can be used before all the nouns, singular and plural. And lastly, the article that can be used before the superlatives, ordinal numbers, and the word only. Let's start with the first one, which is the article that can be used with the object that is unique or the objects that are unique. We have some examples down here. The first one is the Earth. And we all know that we have just one planet that called Earth that we live in, so it's just a unique object. So we can use the article that with it to represent it. So we say the Earth. The second example we have is the Sun and the Moon. As we live on a unique planet that called the Earth, we just have one single sun and one single moon. It would have been a different case if we lived on another planet that has multiple moons. But let's not think about it just yet. Maybe in the future, who knows? So, as we know, we have one sun and one moon. So those two objects are unique, so we use the article that with them to represent them. So we say the sun and the moon. The last example we have is the stars. Although we encounter a lot of different shapes and colors of the stars every night, but they're still unique, so we use the article that with them to represent them. So we say the stars. Now let's move on to the second case of the article the, which is used before a noun that is being mentioned for the second time. Let's see some examples. She bought a new book. The book is about horror stories. We can see on the first sentence where we mention the word book for the first time, we use the article a with it, so we said a new book. But on the second sentence where we mentioned the word book for the second time, we changed that article to the, so we said the book. Let's see another example. Sierra went on a vacation. That vacation was to England. Same as the first example. The first sentence, where we mentioned the word vacation for the first time, we used the article a with it. But on the second sentence, where we mentioned the word vacation for the second time, we changed that article to that. So we said the vacation. So the article that can be used before a noun that being mentioned for the second time. Let's move on to the third case of the article that, which is used before a noun that is known to represent one particular thing. For example, if you would ask someone to pass you your charger by saying, "Pass me the charger, please." Now, both of you, the speaker and the other party, know what charger you're talking about, mainly by making that gesture, which is pointing at your phone. So you wouldn't need to mention further information about your charger, but just making that gesture, which is pointing at your phone. Another example we have is a small conversation between you and your mother. For example, she asked you, "Where's your father at?" And you answered, "My father is in the car." Without giving too much information about the car, both of you know what car you're talking about, which is your family car. The fourth case of the article that is used before all the nouns, singular or plural. For example, by saying the book and the books, the cup and the cups, the wall and the walls, etc. So all of these words are nouns, so we use the article that before the nouns, whether it be singular or plural. The last fifth case about the article that, which is used before the superlatives, the ordinal numbers, and the word only. Let's see some examples. He's the tallest boy in his team. We have the adjective tall, and we want to make comparison between this boy and his team by saying he is the tallest boy in his team. So we use the article that before superlatives. Another example of superlatives, they are the most talented in their class. Also, we are making comparison between some group of people and their class by saying the most talented in their class. So we use the article that before superlatives. And also we use the article that with the ordinal numbers by saying the first, the second, the third, and so on. Also we use the article that with the word only. Let's see some examples. He is the only one who could do it. It is a similar case to superlatives. So we are making kind of comparison between this person and, for example, a group of people by saying he's the only one who could do it. We have another example, which is the only way to do this is by, and then continue your sentence. All in all, we've talked about the articles in English and how to use them. I hope you find it easy to. If you still have a question, leave it in the comment section down below and I would be happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching.